What's up, guys? Alton here with another video, and I want to talk about this whole Ravi Zacharias debacle. I'm finally speaking about it, and I really kind of wanted to not talk about it until I had some more information. Some more facts and evidence. I'm not one of those people that just jump out there and just start talking and just start saying stuff. But I wanted to kind of wait a little bit before I actually just gave my opinions on it. And as a lot of you guys know, Ravi Zacharias was caught up in a pretty big scandal. I will say that I was surprised. Because of who he is and his influence that he's had in, apologetics, in the apologetic community. Now, I just want to put this disclaimer out here. Not all of us, me included, well, actually, I'm just going to speak for myself right now. I was never really too big of a fan of Ravi Zacharias. I always thought that he was articulate, and I thought that he was great about getting his point across when it came to, talking about philosophy and stuff like that. But when it came to the gospel, I always thought that he was pretty weak on the gospel. I was never really inspired by what he said pertaining to the gospel, because it almost seems as if he left that out during his speeches or his teachings or whatever. So I was never really big on Ravi Zacharias. Like, I have caught some of his things and listened to a lot of things that he said. He's a great storyteller, great philosopher, very knowledgeable guy. But I just think that he just kind of, he just kind of mamby-pambied the Gospels to some degree. And one of the things that really made me raise an eyebrow was, and I was watching Todd Frill's video talking about Ravi Zacharias, and he kind of reminded me of the time that Ravi Zacharias went into a Mormon temple, and he didn't preach the gospel. He actually just went in there and did his storytelling like he usually does. And it wasn't to call these people to repentance. You know what I'm saying? That's a big red flag, because we know that Mormons don't believe in the same God of the Bible that we believe in. Like, the whole Mormon religion is just heretical. There's no other way to put it. It's a heretical religion. It is not built on biblical orthodoxy. But that was one of the things that kind of rose a red flag to me. With Ravi Zacharias actually not preaching the gospel out of Mormon temple, so that was really concerning. But this whole thing with the sex scandals and the massage parlors and all of that stuff, like I said, it was pretty surprising. I'm gonna say that I didn't expect it, from a guy like him. But at the same time, nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. But this does do a lot of damage to his ministry, because here in Atlanta, I know that I think he has like a school or something that's here, and I think it's Ravi Zacharias Ministries or something like that. And so now I'm just like, what's going to happen with the school? What's going to happen with his ministry? The people who's been following him. And of course, you do got those who are just like, Ravi Zacharias, he's, I don't think that those things are true. Those allegations, I don't think that they're true. And some people are probably going to try to sweep this up under the rug. But these are some pretty serious allegations coming from a person who is a prominent speaker, especially when it comes to the, like I said before, the apologetic community. And I'm not saying that he's on the same level as someone someone like a Vodi Bakum or a James White, right? I don't think that he's on. I won't put them in the same category, but I'll put him in the same category as a Frank Turek or a Francis Chan. You see what I'm saying? These are guys who are pretty close to Ravi Zacharias. And although I like those guys to a certain degree, I really don't hold to much of their teachings, because they said some stuff in the past that's kind of like, I don't know if I agree with that too much. But with this whole scandal coming out about Ravi, and it just reminds me, and I have to keep belaboring this point, that 2020 exposed a lot of people, and I'm gonna keep saying this. A lot of people got exposed last year in 2020. And I believe right now, this is going to be the separation between the wheat and the tares. I believe this year is starting that. And we can't be cleaving to people. We can't cleave to preachers and pastors and YouTube personalities. Like, you guys don't even cling to me like that, just don't. Because although I don't have any skeletons in my closet like that, but at the end of the day, I mean, we're living on a sinful earth, and anybody could fall at any point. You know what I'm saying? And sexual immorality is something that is real. I mean, the temptations are real, and some of us are not that strong when it comes to sexual immorality. That's why we have to keep our eyes focused on Christ and His will. And I can sympathize with what he was going through. Not saying that I condone it in any way, but I can sympathize with him, when it comes to stuff like that. Not saying that since I've been saved, I've engaged in any of that, but for instance, me, when I was growing up, by the time I started to take an interest in girls, I was taught the more women you had up under your belt, the more that made you a man. And I lived my life like that as a young man, a younger man. I'm still kind of young, so but as a younger man, until the time I was about 27, 28 years old. And I lived like that. Just, trying to put as many notches up under my belt as possible. And, you end up getting to a point, especially after you get saved, when you start to see that is an egregious sin in God's eyes. And then to try to reverse that, it's like I've been having that mindset majority of my life, from my youth to my adulthood. And here I am, 10 years later, roughly 10 years later, and trying to block out those type of urges. It becomes really challenging. Not saying that that's something that I want to do deep in my heart, but when you're taught, like, for instance, I can tell when a woman is throwing me a certain sign, when she's inviting me, based on the way she looks, some of the things that she say. And this happens quite often. And it's like, and I know it because I used to be able to pick up on this stuff, and then I would act on it when I was carnal, because that was just the way it is. I know when a woman looks a certain way, or when she makes a certain body gesture, or when she asks a certain question and she does it like really subtle. I know what that would lead to, and my response used to always be the same, which would lead me to hooking up with that woman. So nowadays, when I do encounter those type of situations, it can be challenging to kind of, not go to that default, You see what I'm saying? It's just like it used to come just like second nature. You know, a woman says something or she looks a certain way, then I will automatically react. So now I would have to, it's like when I see certain things, then I have to be like, oh, wait, hold on, stop, you know. Let me do the opposite of that. You know what I'm saying? Let me lead the conversation back into something else. Or let me not even engage with this woman at all. You know, I don't want to be caught in a situation where I'm going to be tempted in any way. You see what I'm saying? So I don't want to be alone with a woman that is not my wife. And there's a lot of precautionary things that I have to do to make sure that that doesn't happen. So, but I do sympathize with Ravi Zacharias, and I do pray for his family and those in his ministry. You know, and that's why I also show empathy to people who are homosexual. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't even imagine being, you know, attracted to someone of the same sex and just trying to block that out. You know, like sexual attraction is real, and it's not something that you can really help. I mean, you can try to suppress it, but you have to keep your mind focused on the Word of God in order to become fully delivered. There's some people who have been fully delivered from, you know, sexual lust and perversion and stuff like that. But it's a battle. As long as you're here on this earth, it's a battle. But that's why. But here's the thing: when you do have a certain influence, like me, I only got maybe like 12,000 subscribers right now as I make this video, and I'm still a person of influence. You know what I'm saying? Not just in my family, but here on social media. And I have to be very, very careful about what I do and how I portray myself and what I'm, you know, and who I'm representing. And you know, as Christians, we all have to be like that. Not just me as a YouTube influencer or someone like Ravi Zacharias who has millions of followers, you know, around the world, but all of us as Christians, you know, like we're here to portray the image of Christ. And every day, yes, it is a battle, it is a struggle every day, but you know, we have to persevere. We got to persevere to the end. So my final thoughts on this Ravi Zacharias situation is that it's a shame that he was caught up in this. It's a shame that these allegations are coming out, but I'm hoping that this can be used as a learning experience for everyone, for anyone who is suffering, you know, battling with perversion, lust, pornography, those things. You know, this is another reason why I tell people to make sure that you're in a sound fellowship. Make sure that you're around brothers and sisters. You know, if you're a man, you know, make sure that you got solid brothers around you who can hold you accountable, who can help you through those tough times that you're dealing with some of these issues, you know. And if you're a woman, same thing. Make sure that you're around good, godly women, sound women, who are going to hold you accountable for your actions, you know. But again, people, this is the time where there's a separation going on. There's a separation going on, and you know, I just pray that I'm not one of the tares growing amongst the wheat. But yeah, guys, just let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. You know, do you think that, hey, you know, this guy Ravi Zacharias, he's always been a heretic and nothing surprises you anymore, and you know, this is just who he was, you know, from beginning to now? Or do you believe that, hey, the Lord said in the last days these things are going to happen? You know, and us as Christians, we always have to be prepared. We always have to be ready. And we always have to stay in that word. We got to stay in that word. But anyway, guys, no matter what you think, leave it in the comment section below. And as always, like, rate, share, comment, subscribe, and you guys have a blessed day.